was crying and crying and crying, and these two Sakis were trying to console so much. Don't worry, we can meet Krishna, this, that. But Radharani, she expressed all those emotions in Barsana. So the one peculiar character of Radharani is she will express exactly opposite what she feels. When she feels intense separation from Lord Krishna, she will start cursing Krishna, blaming Krishna, finding fault with Krishna, and the Sakis know that. These two Sakis, Lalita and Vishaka, they knew that so well. They could understand the more she is disturbed and the more she is blaming Krishna, they could understand she is deeply in love with Krishna and she's feeling that separation. Then that amazing thing happened. Krishna came in the form of a girl, Shyama Sakhi, and the scriptures explain so beautifully, Ananda Vrindavan Champu. It explains how beautiful Krishna was. He has made his eyes and beautiful eyebrows, and he has got a nice cloth veil on her head, and she has got all the body's blouse and beautiful dress. And it is written that all the blouse, it's all stitched, it's like it's tied on her body, on Krishna's body, and she called herself the Shyama Sakhi. Right? Then she was like, Krishna was like, screaming with a basket and a stick in his hand, and he was screaming that I am an astrologer. In those days, the ladies used to travel in villages and they will catch, household ladies' hands and they will say, next Thursday this will happen to you, next month this will happen. And many times it becomes true because they are pure people and they could read the language, bodily sign, and they can predict some things. So this is quite common in villages. And one such lady, Krishna dressed himself like a lady and having a basket, and the basket is full of flowers and fruits, and in one hand he has got that wand, that stick he has got, and he is telling, I can tell you everything about future, I can tell you the past, I can tell you when you will get liberated, I can tell you how many births you have taken in this material. And he was screaming on the streets and going, and Lalita and Vishaka could hear that. So they thought, maybe this lady will come and talk to Radharani and she can convince or console Radharani for some time. So they went and approached this lady, and Krishna knew, Shyama Sakhi knew this, that Lalita and Vishaka are coming. And when they came, then they asked, where are you, from which village? And she said, I am from the neighboring village and I am from this, that, And actually Krishna was boasting a lot. He was boasting too much. And they said, enough. We will give you whatever money you ask. But do exactly what we say. Okay? You should not speak a single word extra. We will take you to the princess, the queen of Barsana. We will take you to the daughter of Vrishabhanu, SrimatiRadharani. And she is in deep misery. She loves Krishna so much and she is in deep misery. You have to convince her, tell her that she will unite with Krishna very soon, and in this way, don't speak anything else. Then immediately Krishna told, no, you cannot control an astrologer. The moment I start reading their face and palm, I get into trance. And in the trance, I can see future. I can do this. I can do that. And when she was speaking all these things, Lalita gave one slap to that lady, Shyama Sakhi. And actually, Lalita slapped Krishna. You can understand the power of gopis and the freedom and this thing, the privilege they have got. She gave one thapad to that lady, Shyama Sakhi, and said, enough, stop all this. You should go there and tell exactly what I say. And Krishna did not expect that slap all of a sudden from Lalita. Lalita is very tough and Vishaka is very soft. And they both took this lady, Shyama Sakhi, there, right? And Radharani saw, and the moment she saw, why have you brought all these people here? She was talking to Lalita and Vishaka. Radharani said, I'm already, like a fly inside the fire. And you have brought these people. They are going to pour more oil in me. And Shyamasaki said, O princess of Barsana, the dearest daughter of Maharaja Vrishabhanu, the Lord of all lords is controlled by you. And Krishna started glorifying Radharani so beautifully. And Radharani was feeling shy and his face were turning into pink. She was blushing. And she said, simply give me, Shyamasaki said, simply give me your palm. By holding your palm, I can dispel all the misery from your heart. And Radharani, as I said, Radharani always expresses the opposite of what she thinks. And she got very angry with Lalita and Vishaka. Why did you brought these kind of people here? I don't want to see them. And they're going to talk about the deadliest enemy in my life. I hate Krishna. I don't like. Because when he was such a young boy, he killed a lady who came to feed him milk. That innocent lady came to that Gokula to feed milk, and this boy killed. And what he always speaks lies. He's a traitor. He's a coward. He's a cheater. She keeps on blaming Krishna. And Lalita and Vishaka could understand she's simply expressing her love. And Lalita and Vishaka very humbly, politely said, Radhe, what is wrong? Just see, if you can come out of this misery, what's wrong? So Radharani came, sat in front of this lady, and it's beautifully explained how she sat. And she was, keeping one leg on the floor and one leg folded, and she was keeping her knee, the chin on her knee and waiting, just allowing the lady to speak. And Shyamasaki said, oh princess, please give me your palm. Radharani said, I will not give my hand, leg, everything and all to you. You just see and tell what is there. Anyway, I know you are going to talk about that rascal, that traitor, that coward, that cheater. Radharani started blaming Krishna. Then Shyamasaki said, no. Radhe, the princess, it simply shows how much you love him. Because you love this person so much, you are not able to stop yourself from talking about him and thinking about him. That is why 24 hours you are thinking and talking about it. Shyamasaki exactly caught that point, and Radharani felt, oh, this lady is speaking the truth and I will be cornered. And immediately she was trying to get up and saying that, no, I don't want to discuss with this lady. Send her off. Give her some money and send her off. And Lalita and Vishaka again pulled Radharani and said, no, my dear, you please sit, you please listen. Then Radharani said, don't talk about this person. He's a cheater, he is traitor, he is like this, he is like that. Then Shyamasaki said, Radharani, just listen to me what I'm saying. This boy, Krishna, is in Nandagaon. He is completely under the control of his parents and brothers and friends. But there is not a single split second when he is not thinking about you. In the dead of the nights, he wakes up, sitting and simply chanting your name. He forgets to breathe, but he is not forgetting you even for a second. And to all the gopas, like a madman, he is talking about you again and again and again. And he is roaming in all those places where you used to roam and thinking, Shyamasaki was talking about Krishna so much. By hearing this, Radharani got moved and tears were coming down her cheek, and she slowly gave her palm to Shyamasaki. And the moment Shyamasaki, Krishna, caught the palm of Radharani, immediately tuck all his decoration like a female lady, that attached hair fell off, and all her blouse and extra fitting, the dress and all that, the knots and all started breaking. Ananda Vrindavan Champu says he had knots. He has tied that skirt and blouse. The knot started tuck, tuck, tuck. It started breaking. All his decorations, all the disguise, everything vanished. And they could see it is Krishna who had come all the way. Then immediately again Radharani became so wild. And Lalita and Vishaka started chasing Krishna. But a unique thing happened. They were physically chasing Krishna and mentally they were saying, Krishna come back, Krishna come back. So the beautiful, beautiful leelas happened here. And you can see there are two palaces here. Actually, I think it's merged. Two palaces are there. One is an old Barsana temple and another is a new Barsana temple. So this is actually Brahmaji. When Brahmaji was not allowed to take part directly in the Leela. You see, even Devas were not allowed to enter Vrindavan, Vrajadham. So they have to take the form of, trees and mountains. Only Gopis and cows and all the peacocks, birds, monkeys, they were allowed to interact with Krishna. Shiva was not allowed to interact with Krishna. Brahma was not allowed to interact with Krishna. Indra, none of them. So finally they have to take different forms there. So Brahmaji became Barsana Hill. Lord Shiva became Nandagaon, that Nandi Hill. And Narayana became Govardhana Hill. All the Trimurtis became hill there. So the Devas took form of ponds, streams, plants, and that's how they were able to relate to Vrajadham. Even Devas were taking these kinds of forms. So all these Leelas, there is a beautiful pastime which we wanted to discuss. Anyway, I'll tell in short. Dhankeli Gata and Dhan Nivaran Kund. All these happened in the hill, on some portion of the hill. So Krishna was, yes, this is a beautiful thing. So Krishna was not allowed to enter Barsana area because by the time at the age of 8, Radharani was married and she had a very envious sister-in-law, her name is Kutila, and a powerful mother-in-law, Jyotila, and she had her father's elder brother's daughter, you can say co-sister, very jealous. Her name is Chandravali. Chandravali wanted to marry Krishna and Radharani also wanted to marry Krishna. Somehow Radharani became very closer to Krishna. So Chandravali is very jealous and Jyotila, Kutila, they are jealous. So they know Radharani is meeting Krishna here and there. So they will make sure, they had securities all over. They made sure that Krishna comes nowhere near Barsana Hill. And Radharani cannot spend a single day without meeting Krishna, without talking about him, without cooking for him. She can't spend one day. So in the excuse of carrying milk, going and collecting fruits from the jungle, some lame excuse she will say, and all the gopis, beautifully the acharyas used to sing Taruni, the young blossoming beautiful girls, and they'll all gather in the streams, in the riverside, and the jungles of Barsana, and beautiful. So one day they were carrying pots and pots and pots of, they had this skill of carrying 4 or 5 pots on their head, and they will walk without tripping it off. I don't know how many Matajis in this satsang can, hold some 4 pots on their head and without holding it with hand, they can walk, like throughout the jungle, climb the mountain. Maybe Apara Mataji can do, having 4 pots on her head. So these gopis had this amazing talent of holding pots on their head, and they will go. And Krishna and Gopas, as usual, they will throw stones. And in this picture, you can see they have broken the pot of, Lalita. Lalita always wears green color dress. Radharani is there, Lalita's pot. And Lalita became wild. And she started screaming at Krishna, this milk, how much struggle we are doing. And Krishna was mocking at her. Hey, what is there, just carrying few pots. Long back, I holded the whole mountain on my little finger for 7 days. And you are talking to me about holding 4 pots on the head? It is not. The picture what you see is Lalita is betting Krishna, okay, if you hold 4 pots on your head and walk this Barsana hill from this stretch to that stretch, we will become your slaves and we will do whatever you ask for. Then immediately Madhumangala and all the boys said, wow, Krishna, this is the best deal. Let us do it. Let us do it. You can easily do that. You can easily carry. And Krishna was also ready. He was taking the pots and trying to keep on his head. And Lalita said, no, not like this. You can hold the pot. You can keep the pots on your head. And you should wear skirt and sari like us. Dress like us. Dress like a lady and you walk. Then Krishna was like little confused, because he has never done these things. But he thought it's very easy. So they dressed him in skirt, in all the girls' costume, girls' garments. And they put 4 pots on his head. And they pulled the stick from him, took the flute from him, everything. And they made him walk. Krishna could not walk. The Lord, where Yamaraja gets scared, Lord Shiva will not stand in front of Krishna, Brahmaji doesn't stand, Indra is scared, that Supreme Lord who is the master of 33 crores of Devi Devatas was not able to carry 4 pots of milk and walk. Then somehow Krishna was struggling and walking, Lalita took a stone and threw and broke the pots. So, and Krishna was like, drenched with milk and all these beautiful pastimes happened there. Okay, so maybe we will continue the same thing, Barsana, Vrindakund, Nandagav and all about tomorrow also. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.